All right, so yeah, I might kick this off now. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining our second industry webinar that caters to a group of engineering disciplines such as biomedical, electrical and electronics, product design, robotics and mechatronics, software and telecoms. My name is Alex and I'm Activity Manager at Swinburne Engineering Student Society, and I'm the moderator for today's session. We also have our tech lead, Adam Bennett, who is currently working behind the scenes to ensure the tech can run smoothly. And now we'll just give a quick introduction to start with. So I know that we're in all different locations all around Melbourne, but I just want to do a quick acknowledgement of the country. So Swinburne Engineering Student Society acknowledges the traditional custodians of the land on which we gather here tonight, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. We pay our respect to them and their cultures, and to the elders both past and present. And for those of you who are not familiar with Sess, we were established last year really for the purpose of connecting students with each other as well as with the industry. And tonight we have the presence of industry reps from companies such as Nova Systems, Bosch, Ford, Engineer Australia, Wipro, Telstra, DXC Technology, and Base System. I also want to do a brief of event timeline for today. So shortly, we will have our sponsor presentation for 5 minutes, followed by 10 minutes Q&A session. So if you have any general question that you want to ask our businesses, feel free to put your question in Slido. And I'll just pop the link to Slido in the chat shortly. There you go. And from 6:20 to 7:40, we will start with the networking session in the breakout room with smaller groups of student attendees. And at 7:45, we go back to the main room to wrap up the session. And here is some housekeeping rules for today. So for student attendees, if you want to put your question in Slido, please attach your name with your question. And you should keep your mic and your video off during, before the networking session. And then you can turn your camera on and unmute yourself once the breakout room session begins at 6:20. For industry reps, please, if you could turn your video on, if possible, and keep yourself muted unless you are presenting or answering questions read to you by myself. That would be awesome. And for both industry reps and student attendees, if you have any technical issue, please contact our breakout room facilitators designated by the Sess tag via the Zoom private message. Last but not least, really enjoy the virtual experience and be respectful. This event is being recorded. So now it's the time for our sponsor to do a short presentation. So I'm gonna pass it on to Josie from Nova Systems for the presentation.
Thanks, Alex. Did you want me to share? Oh, you've got it.
Yeah.
So I'm from Nova Systems. I'm a second-year graduate engineer, so only really fresh to the industry. Yeah, Nova Systems primarily we're a defense and civil engineering consultant company. And if you want to flick through, I can talk about these slides. So we are Nova Group, and we consist of a few companies within that. So we have Nova Group, Geoplex, GVH Aerospace, Nova Systems, who I work for, and 210 Degrees. Geoplex is mostly mapping and geographic information. We have GVH, so they're global civil aerospace company. They have quite a strong footing in the UK. Nova Systems, that's us, we're mostly defense and civil engineering consulting. And 210 Degrees, they work in design, development and deliver of software, really. Next one. Alex. So we're all over the world. Our few partners in the UK, like I said, that's mostly GVH. Obviously the red ones are our offices. The graduate program is only offered in Australia and New Zealand at the moment for us, but we're about to start a program with the UK where you can exchange with a UK grad, which is super exciting. So obviously I'm a grad in Melbourne, so there's plenty of grad opportunities in Melbourne at the moment. Yeah, you can probably go to the next one. It's just some of the projects that we've been working on. I don't know if, hopefully a few of those are pretty obvious to you guys. I think down the bottom there's F-35. That was my most recent project that I worked on up in Newcastle. So I did some OT&E, operational test and evaluation up there, which was really exciting. And then I think there's a wedge tail in there as well. Did some test and evaluation as well up there. Yeah, hopefully there's a few that are pretty obvious to you guys there. Land 400 as well. I think the next slide as well, we talk more about our civil stuff. Oh, no, we don't. We're going to go to integrated solutions. So there's obviously, we work both in defence and civil, but Nova Systems is quite known for our defence footprint. But we've been trying to branch out recently into more commercial areas, so power, mining, water, oil and gas, and transport. Transport's been a massive one for us more recently, doing a lot of light rail, like in Parramatta and Newcastle. I think the next slide's more about our digital solutions. So I don't know if you guys know of our internship or work experience programs, but we do a lot on the digital solution side. Yeah, I haven't had too much to do with that side. That's usually the Geoplex guys. But the next one, yeah, so our work experience program, it's typically a 12-week program for students in their final year. There's been so many more. So we've had a lot of the surf lifesaving tracking kind of projects, which were really cool. Lots of digital engineering or model-based systems engineering. We had a few guys working on our RAVS product, which was an internal requirements management tool. So that was probably more what you guys are doing in the electrical kind of side, which was really cool. Nova Systems as well. On the next slide, we have, this is more about our graduate program. So it's a 2-year program. You usually do 3 rotations, but a minimum of 2. Obviously there's a mentoring program. Yeah, there's all our information really. Applications open March 1. This is just a little bit about my experience in the program. So I started off working on Air 5431, which was the FDAT system. So they're the new air traffic control radars that are being installed. There's 9 of those around the country. So that was a massive project, a really massive one to start on and really exciting. And then went to the F-35 program, which was just, I'm an aerospace engineer, so that was just the bee's knees for me. And at the moment I'm working on, I've just started in explosive ordnance and weapons engineering. So we have quite a large footprint in that space in Melbourne, which is really exciting. And then other prospects, there's marine and SATCOM, aerospace, energy and resources, and digital solutions. So a little bit more about why join Nova. Lots of training. Nova is massive on training. Oh, you can jump to the next one if you like, Alex. Yeah, lots of training. So I've done all of those and I've only been with Nova for 12 months. So the system safety, system eng, T&E, so there's a professional and personal development package. So you get 5 days of PD and a budget to spend on that. Obviously, remuneration. We hold a conference every year where the whole company gets together and we just have a 3-day conference about what's going on around the country and a few drinks, a couple of drinks. Yeah, we have our internal graduate committee. So and then our graduate program also, we had a Defence Industry Award for Graduate Program of the Year last year. and we're constantly top 50 best places to work. So I think this one talked about 2018, we were number 10. This year we were number, I think maybe 16 or 18. There's a few slides on what you need to join Nova. Most opportunities are engineering related. We're doing a little bit more on outside of that now, but definitely mostly Eng. I think you guys are all well in your, I don't know, getting on there. So, and then being defense, we also need security clearances, so you need to be an Australian citizen for that. About you, obviously, we like great interpersonal skills. We're really big on that social engagement and a lot of work-life balance, understanding problems, lots of clear writing, verbal comms, team player, can-do attitude, high emotional intelligence, and at Nova we're really lucky we get the opportunity to travel quite often. So the next slide, which I think is the last one, is just a photo of all of us at our annual conference. So as you can see, these guys in the front, as much as we do very serious work and everything we do is like working in defense, it always is. We don't like to take ourselves too seriously all the time. So we hold a 3-day conference where we dress up in safari suits for the 3 days. You can see these guys down in the front, they're wearing gold ones. They've been with the company for 10 years. So they're awarded a gold safari suit. But yeah, that's Nova Systems. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Jessie, for such a great presentation. All right, so let's begin the Q&A session. So the very first question is, for a graduate role, how valuable is 12 months of work experience to a prospective employer? So does any of the industry rep want to answer this question? Perhaps Tran from Bosch, do you have any insights for this question?
Yeah, sure. So I guess first of all, I'll talk about how valuable 12 months of work experience is for you as a student and then for us as the employer. So, oh, is my network, am I still there? I've just disappeared. I am?
No,
okay.
oh, good, yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So I guess I can only speak from personal experience. So Bosch is a beast of a business, and because we have so many complex processes and many different departments, we predominantly offer 12-month internships, as it can take an average student 3 to 4 months to really understand the ins and outs of the business operations and to really feel confident in performing their role. And that is why a 12-month internship will allow you enough time to learn in depth about, you know, the internal processes of a real life organization, to build on your skills and knowledge that you've acquired from your studies, and to learn more about yourself as well, and to really gain insight into the career path that you want to take, and to develop on your professional network and to really grow that network. And so when we as the employer look at your CV and see that you have 12 months of working experience under your belt, we think that this person is not only academically adept, but also commercially as well. We see that you've worked on real life projects and, you know, you've really made an impact in the world. And we see that you know, through these real life projects, you've really fine-tuned your communication skills, your time management and your problem solving abilities. And so, you know, that's essentially is what makes you stand out when you're applying for a graduate role, and essentially will make us pick you at the end of the day.
Thank you, Trang. Such great questions. Next one, what are the benefits of joining Engineering Australia as a student member? Perhaps Xavier can answer this question.
I think I may be well placed to answer that question. Yeah, the benefits of membership at Engineers Australia for students in particular. So it's a free membership for any student studying an accredited degree. We are the accrediting body of tertiary qualifications in engineering in Australia. With if we're speaking just in a nutshell globally, a membership at Engineers Australia will allow you to build your professional network. We are a membership organization first and foremost. We have over 100,000 members, and a third of our membership base is constituted of students. So you're very important to us, obviously. You are a pipeline of future, you're the next generation of engineers. So you're important also for us to help link academia and industry, so that industry can actually tell us what are the skills that that they're seeking for that next generation of engineers. So you can build a professional network and obviously your technical knowledge, because we have colleges representing the traditional areas of practice of engineering, a civil college, electrical college, environmental college, mechanical, etc. We have technical societies, 30 technical societies, which are more diving into a specific area of interest, like rail, if you're interested in working in rail, that's the Railway Technical Society of Australasia. We have sustainable engineering, risk engineering, materials, really that you can really dive into your specific area of interest. You can also build networks, solid lifelong connections also with special interest groups like Women in Engineering or Young Engineers Australia, which in Victoria is a very, very dynamic group of volunteers there. So it's a bit of a no-brainer, I guess, because it's free for you. We do hope that you stay with us once you graduate, and that you're able to pay for a graduate membership. But we really want to give you a taste of all you can access. There's much more. I mentioned your professional network and technical knowledge, but also a jobs board is available when you're a graduate. We have a mentor program, lots of online training modules linked to the chartered competency or chartered credential. So that's a bit in a nutshell, but there's a lot to cover with the student membership. So I just recommend sign up and reach out to me if you have any questions.
Yeah, thank you, Xavier. Next question. There's a question that is directed to a specific company, Telstra, for Telstra. So what is the challenge in developing the 5G network in Australia?
I suppose I can be the first that maybe will speak out of Akanksha and I, since we're network graduates in Telstra. Basically, there is a few different challenges that we face as a pretty large organisation, but given that we've only had really about 6 to 7 months of experience in the company, I can only speak on a few of those. And I know specifically in rural sites in Australia, there's going to be a lot of traffic and a lot of engineering that's going to be involved in the radio space, especially for backhaul, for places where we can't get fibre or copper out to like I said, rural sites. So the technology in the space of radio and satellite is going to have to adapt with 5G as 5G starts to roll out towards Central Australia and more remote areas, for the network to actually accommodate for that capacity, really. Yeah, give Akanksha a shot now if she's there.
I think you're on mute, Akanksha.
I think you're on mute.
Oh, we still can't really hear you.
Oh, we still can't hear you, Ankesha.
Am I audible? No.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can hear you now.
Oh.
Well, we can't hear you anymore. Something happened.
I can attest to Akanksha. I had a lot of issues getting my microphone working before as well. I'm not sure. Might be some issues.
That's all right.
I know a little bit of what Akanksha was going to speak about. If you like, I can cover that just while that's being sorted. So I know there's going to be a lot of, like, with the wireless access teams are having some struggles with weaker roof structures at the moment, and the amount of antennas that need to go up is obviously not all on Telstra sites at the moment. So as I'm sure, as a lot of you know, there's like there's going to be microcells kind of everywhere. and those microcells aren't always placed in ideal locations. So we're very mindful of the type of antenna that we can use, given the location of the microcell and where the base station is going to be, so that the roof or the structure that's going to accommodate that can physically withstand what we need to put and the hardware that the site requires. Also, Telstra have a goal of reaching about, I think, 75% coverage, 70 to 75% coverage sometime next year. So that itself is a lot of workload for the organisation and a lot of human power that's required to make that a reality for the company. So there are a few technology restraints, as I spoke about before, some physical ones that I just mentioned, and in general, a lot of team effort that's going to be required of the organisation to achieve that goal. So I hope I covered that okay, Akanksha. I don't know it as well as you, but yeah.
Awesome.
I think you did a great job.
I can hear you now.
Yeah, and finally it's working.
All right. Thank you, George. I'm just being conscious about the time here. So perhaps we still have time for one more question. So for base system, this question is directed to base system. For the F-35, what is the largest and most advanced military aircraft? So what is the challenge in working such a massive project?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And I think for us, you know, we work on a range of quite large projects. So what you'll find is the challenges that we have are quite consistent across most of those. You know, there'll be some differences, you know, depending on locations and that sort of thing. But I think as an organisation, the biggest challenge that we have on these large programs is that quite often we're not the only company working on them. So, you know, we could be working with a number of strategic partners. We each have our individual contributions to make. So it's really important for us to make sure that everyone's on the same page, working to deliver the same outcomes. And yeah, we all have a really good understanding of, you know, what our requirements are in that space.
Awesome. Thank you, Brenna.
No worries.
All right. So if you have any specific questions to specific companies, now is the time to ask in the breakout room. So just before going into the breakout rooms, I just want to brief on some important message. So there are a total of 8 breakout rooms allocated for 8 businesses, and our tech lead, Adam Bennett, he will rotate a group of student attendees around these breakout rooms, and each rotation will occur after 8 minutes of networking. So once we reach the 7 minutes mark, Adam will broadcast to let you know the rotation will begin in 1 minute, and there will be a breakout room facilitator indicated by the Sess tag in each breakout room to moderate the session. So please allow 2 minutes for the rotation to be completed, and you should not speak during this time. For student attendees, if you want to speak in the breakout room, please raise your hand. The event facilitator will direct to you for questions. And only one student can speak at a time. And if you have any technical issue, please go back to the main room to see Adam, and he should be able to add you back to where you were. So let's kick this off. Please allow 2 minutes for Adam to set this up and enjoy the experience.
Just a quick message to anyone in group 8 and 1. I'm just going to do a little bit of shuffling. Just something's happened behind the scenes that I need to fix. Everyone else should be good to go once I open the rooms. Thanks.